Okay. Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Cook Along Kitchen. My name is Shannon Parks. I am your Cigna on-site nutrition health coach. So happy to be here with you guys, just like always, and super excited to be talking about one of my favorite summertime recipes. It's so hot outside, and I love a nice, sweet, cold treat on a summer day more than anybody. I can promise you that. I do have my colleague, our wellness technician, Nikki Lanowski, with me today. So please feel free during our episode today, drop any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about into the chat, and she will give me that feedback while we're live on air so I can answer all of those questions and note all of your talking points for you. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, today we're going to be preparing a summertime sorbet recipe. Super excited about this. Love sorbet because it is a fruit-forward dessert. So it's got health and nutrition right at the forefront, minimal added ingredients, tons of ways to customize this recipe, tons of different flavors, as many fruits as you can think of is how many flavors of sorbet that you can make. And it comes together literally in seconds, you guys. Such a nice sweet treat, really easy to make this recipe with your kids or your family, the people that you live with, the people you love. It's really easy. And this recipe will keep in the freezer. That is, if anybody in your household doesn't gobble it all up, this recipe will keep in the freezer for up to 6 months, which is really cool. So you can, if you're somebody like me, I live alone, I'm not going to eat the whole container at once, or at least I'm going to try not to. And so I like to just be able to grab the container, scoop out a serving, throw some toppings on there, and enjoy it. So hopefully you guys will love this recipe just as much as I do. Let's go over the ingredients and the tools that I have on my table. So I brought in my food processor. For this recipe, a food processor is really the easiest. I do have the blade attachment on my food processor today, so you'll want to use that. If you don't have a food processor, that's okay. A high-powered blender that can crush ice is just as easy to use for this recipe. So don't think you have to have a food processor to make sorbet at home, but if you have one, great. Grab that baby out. I also have with me a spatula for scooping because this recipe is using frozen fruit, and so it's not just going to pour out of your blender or your food processor. You'll need something to help scoop it out. I've got my measuring spoons. I've got a 1 cup measuring cup to measure our fruit out. I've got a liquid measuring cup to help us measure the liquid that'll go into the recipe. So that's all the tools and gadgets that I have. I also do have this scoop. I've got a small, I believe this is a 1 or 2 ounce scoop, and I'll use this to scoop out some of our sorbet at the end of our episode today. As far as ingredients on the table, we're going to be demonstrating 2 different sorbet recipes. They're both a little bit different, but really tasty. So the one that I'm going to be making live for you all today is the mixed berry sorbet. Super excited about this. We'll talk about everything that goes into it here in just a minute, and other additional items you could add to it to up the punch as far as the nutritional value. I did pre-create a pineapple colada, if you will, or a pineapple coconut sorbet for you guys as well. And I will start there and talk about what's in that. So the pineapple sorbet came together really easily. 3 ingredients only, you guys, which is amazing. So I used 16 ounces of frozen pineapple chunks. Really easy. They're already cut, cubed, chunked up for you. Super easy to use. This has 3 cups per container. That's the exact amount that we need for the recipe. So 1 package, 16 ounce package of frozen pineapple. I also use 1 can of full fat coconut milk. You can typically find this in the international aisle at your grocery store. Make sure that you're getting the full fat because that's going to impart a really creamy texture to your sorbet, and it's also going to impart more nutrients, really heart-healthy fats in the full fat coconut milk. The only other thing I added to the pineapple sorbet was a little bit of this agave nectar. This is a natural sweetener. has a low glycemic index, meaning it does not cause your blood sugar to spike. And if you're somebody who is a diabetic or looking for weight management, that is an excellent thing for you. So agave syrup went into it. Put it all into my lovely food processor, pulsed it a couple times, and voila. I have since filled up this container. This is a 5.8 cup Tupperware container. I poured it all in here, popped it into the freezer this morning. It has been defrosting for maybe about 15 minutes or so, and we're done. When we're done, we're gonna scoop this and serve it up. I'm so excited. I wish you guys could smell it and taste it with me. It is divine. So all that being said, let's get started with our mixed berry sorbet. So I'm just gonna pop the top off of my food processor. I am working this backwards so that you guys can see it. So forgive me fumbling with it because I typically don't use it backwards, but we're gonna pop the top off. Into this is gonna go 4 ingredients. We've got the triple berry frozen mixed berry medley here that I grabbed at the grocery store. We're gonna put in a fresh squeeze of lemon juice into there. It helps bring out the sweetness of the fruit. We're gonna add in some of that agave nectar, and we're also gonna add in some water. That's gonna be our liquid base. So let's start there, because if you're like me, your food processor probably enjoys the liquid going in first so it doesn't explode all over you. I may have learned the hard way this morning. So we're gonna put 1 cup of water right into the food processor.
And Shannon, we just have a quick question.
Yes.
Have you ever used frozen bananas to help thicken or make it
Yes. So the question was, have we ever used frozen bananas to help thicken it or create a really nice texture? Absolutely yes. I actually almost brought a frozen banana with me, but I knew that it wasn't on the recipe that I had previously provided to you guys. Feel free to add a banana into this. If you're somebody that's allergic to coconut, pineapple banana would be amazing. And just add a little bit of water to help blend it up real good. But bananas impart a really nice creamy consistency and texture that's so nice for a sorbet. So absolutely, bananas are totally welcome in a recipe like this. So into the food processor, we have 1 cup of water. Put that in. In the spirit of adding our liquids first, I'm gonna just squeeze some lemon in here. Perfect, very nice. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of agave nectar. Perfect. And then we're gonna do 3 cups of mixed berries right into here. So I'm gonna use my 1 cup measuring scoop here and just scoop out 3 cups of berries. Oh my gosh, you guys, these berries look so good. Oh, these look so good. This sorbet is gonna be so pretty in color, you guys. I'm super excited. Okay, so it may get a little bit loud because I'm about to blend all this up. Do that. Okay, so I'm gonna start with just pulsing it a few times to start to incorporate the fruit and the water together. It started to kind of chop up some, and the pulsing is really helping to incorporate it. So now we're just gonna run it. Mine only has 1 speed, so we're just gonna run it. Okay, 10-15 seconds should do the trick. I'm actually gonna bring the bowl around to the camera so that you guys can see kind of what it looks like as far as texture and consistency. Okay, so y'all can see it's kind of thick. I'm just gonna hold down the blade so it doesn't pull out, but it's kind of thick in there. That's kind of how you want it to look. Pretty emulsified, pretty combined well together, and pretty thick. So I'm going to use my little spatula, and we're gonna take out the blade. kind of shake it off in there. And then I'm just gonna scoop out what's in here. As I was saying earlier, it's it'll pour a little bit, but might need a little bit of help too to get all the good stuff out. Very nice. Wow, this is so beautiful, you guys. I cannot wait to try it. So I'm just gonna smooth this down into kind of a uniform layer. And if you were serving this, let's say, at an event or a barbecue at your house or something like that, you could serve it really soft like this, but my recommendation would be pop it in the freezer for maybe 30 minutes or so. It'll freeze up real nice for you and you'll be able to scoop it. So that is the mixed berry sorbet. I promised you guys I would talk about some ways to up the nutritional punch with it. So some really easy ways to do that. You could add flaxseed or chia seed to it. That would give you lots of fiber, a little bit of protein. It would also help to thicken it up a little bit, and it would give you some healthy fats into your diet too. So adding some flaxseed or chia seed would be a great addition. I would put that into the food processor probably really close to when you're about to be done pulsing it, and then combining it. That way you don't break up those nutrients too much. You could also even add a protein powder to this. I really like the Gene Pro brand, GENEPRO, available on Amazon. I love it because it's an unflavored whey protein. It absorbs and digests super easily. It doesn't change the flavor, texture, consistency. So you could really just add a scoop or two to the food processor when you're putting all the ingredients together and get a little bit of more nutritional bang for your buck that way too. So just some thoughts there. I'm going to go ahead and cover this and then talk to you about some other stuff that is on my table. And while I'm doing that, I want to invite you guys, pop any questions or anything that you have in the chat. And that way we can attend to all that stuff while we're here still live. So let's scoot on down to the other side of the table here. I don't know about you guys, but when I have ice cream, I don't like to just have it plain. If I have a choice, I get toppings. And if you've ever talked to me about ice cream, you know I love sprinkles, is like my thing. However, sprinkles maybe not the best choice for sorbet. And so I have brought a couple different toppings from home that I thought would go really well with a nice fruit sorbet. So my first little container here, this has some semi-sweet chocolate chips in here. This is a Lily's brand chocolate chip. I love these because they are not sweetened with sugar. They're sweetened with stevia. Stevia is a natural sweetener that's going to impart a really nice sweet flavor without all the added calories like sugar contributes. So I love these. You can get them at any grocery store. They're found right in the baking aisle. And they also make bars too. So if you wanted to shave one of the bars on top of your sorbet, that would be a really nice addition too. So I've got the Lily's chips here. I also have some unsweetened shredded coconut. Thought that would be a really nice addition, especially for the pineapple sorbet, just to bring out that coconut flavor. Unsweetened is best. We want to try to limit those added sugars the best that we can. I've got some walnuts here. These are glazed walnuts. A little bit sweet, a little bit salty. I love these. A nice way to add some omega-3 fatty acids into your diet. Really good for brain, bone, and eye health. And another really nice topping for sorbet. And then last but not least, I have some fresh berries. I chose blackberries. They were on sale at the grocery store this week. I love blackberries. We're in the season for them. And so I thought they would be a really nice addition too. So let's go ahead and take our little scoop here. And I'm just going to scoop out some of this sorbet. And you guys can see how easy this is to scoop. And like I said, it's been sitting now maybe about 25 minutes. But it scoops so beautifully. And I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm going to do a little bit of the shredded coconut on top. Oh my gosh, you guys, this looks so good. And I think maybe some fresh berries too. That sounds really good. So let me get some of these fresh berries. Oh, how beautiful. And let's bring this around. If your mouth is not watering, it will be. That is our finished product. Look how beautiful that is, you guys. This smells so delightful. So many wonderful nutrients, fresh fruit forward, which I love, and a really easy summer treat. Nikki, do we have any questions?
We do not have any questions.
We do not have any questions. Oh my gosh, amazing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this cooking demo. I love coming in here and doing these cooking demos. Super excited to announce that our next cooking demonstration will be on August 18th, right, Nikki? Yep, August 18th. That one's going to be a little bit longer. We've set aside an hour for that one, and we're going to be talking about mastering weeknight meals. So trying to make weeknight dinners a little bit easier because they can be really, really challenging and take a long time.
Okay, we got a quick question.
We do have a question.
How
Okay.
can you identify full fat coconut milk?
How can you identify full fat coconut milk? Okay, excellent question. So what you want to look at is you want to look for unsweetened. Let me just come around so you guys can see this can. It says right here on the bottom, unsweetened. And you just want to avoid the one that says light. Light is the one that's going to be reduced fat or they've watered it down some. So just look for the traditional coconut milk unsweetened.
All right, and then we just have a quick question. The berries, is that just water in there? And we put coconut milk in both of them, correct?
So the berry one just has water. We've got some people in our office who have a coconut allergy. So I wanted to make one that was allergen-free entirely. And so the berries, you could absolutely use coconut milk in that. It would be the same thing, about 1 can of coconut milk right into the food processor with the berries. I chose to use water in that one just to show an alternative if you didn't want to use coconut milk, or if you were allergic to coconut or something like that, you could just use water. Great question. Any other questions? Okay, I don't think there's any other questions. Oh, one just popped up.
What speed did you blend it on?
What speed did I blend it on? Great question. So my food processor, this is a Cuisinart. It only has 1 speed, but I would say if you're using your blender, or if your food processor has more than 1 speed, just a medium speed would be fine. We just need something to break up the frozen berries or the frozen fruit that you're using. And keep in mind, you can do this with any fruit. I really love the hack of buying the fruit already frozen because it's washed, it's peeled or cubed if you need it to be. I didn't have to take the whole outside of a pineapple off and core it and cube it and freeze it. If you wanted to use fresh fruit, you absolutely could. You would prep it, cube it, and then freeze it before using it to make the assembly a little bit easier. Did we get another question? No? Awesome. Okay, friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me for Cook Along Kitchen. It was a pleasure. I cannot wait to see you again next month when we talk about weeknight meals and mastering 30-minute meals to make healthy, fresh meals inside your homes during the week. I will see you then. Have a great day.